Hi, good morning guys. This is Dan and this is my channel, Engelgeist. Welcome to the channel. For those of you that are new, welcome. It's great to see new growth. It seems like I'm picking up like a subscriber a day, which is wonderful. So welcome to all my new subscribers. Please take a look around the channel and welcome back to all of my returning subscribers, to all of you that have supported me throughout this time. I greatly appreciate all of you, and to all of my Patreon subscribers. Those of you that subscribe over at Patreon and pay a monthly subscription fee to watch the daily forecast and get the readings that I post over there, thank you so very much for that. It helps to keep me sort of, afloat financially, so to speak. Other ways you can support the channel. If you're interested in a subscription, go over to patreon.com, look up Engelgeist333, and you can support me there. There's different monetary levels, and you get different perks for doing that. You can also follow me on Instagram at Engelgeist333. And if you would just like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the thumbs up button on the video, let people know about me, I greatly appreciate it. Also, you can book private readings with me if you'd like. All of my social media contact stuff is in the upper right-hand corner of the YouTube screen, or you can follow my Linktree links. Those will lead you to my business page on Facebook and Instagram and all of that sort of stuff. Now, this is the forecast for Thursday, the 2nd of April. For those of you that watch regularly, you'll understand that. But for those of you that are new to me, it's not necessarily set for Thursday. If this happens to show up in your feed on a different day, that's okay. It might be a message for you that is ready for that day. I believe that when I ask Spirit to come in and do this reading with me, I believe that they create a message that's for the highest good for the greater collective, and so therefore it still can resonate at a different time, even if it's not the 2nd of April. So just trust that, okay? It's a timeless message, essentially. All right. So beyond that, we're working with two new decks. Well, one is sort of new. One I'm a little familiar with, but we're working with a new deck. HOLLAND Psychic Tarot. Oh, another way you can support too is if any of the decks that you see, if you look in the video description boxes, there's Amazon affiliate links. If you purchase the deck through Amazon with that link, I get a small percentage of the sale. So, and that helps too. All right, so let's see what's going on. Ah, interesting. That's weird because I was just opening this chakra, getting ready to do this. Okay, so what I have said is because this is an oracle deck, I'm working with two oracle decks this month, and that's not a normal occurrence. Normally I have a tarot deck and an oracle paired with an oracle deck, but something has told me to utilize these two oracle decks. So in this HOLLAND Psychic Tarot deck, which is an oracle deck, there is chakra cards, right? So we are getting the 5th chakra, which is the throat, which I was just opening as I was getting ready to do this, because I've been feeling, I don't know, sort of a bit nervous lately, guys. It's just sort of like trying to keep up hope and trying to keep communicating that hope out into the world. It gets a little bit, I don't know, hard for me, right? It feels a bit heavy, and so I was really just opening up my throat right before I wrote this. But for those of you, I think that what I did say when I first started with this is if we get another card, if we get one of the chakra cards, then we will pull an extra card to ask for guidance on what the chakra wants us to know. So I'm going to pull another card. But this is definitely, the throat represents communication. It's the energy center where our communication comes from. Sometimes it can be wide open and we can maybe be communicating too much or too loudly or too aggressively. Sometimes it can be that our throat is closed off, that we're not communicating enough. That might be a message for me, to be in all honesty. But for some of you, you might be able to relate to that right now maybe you're not feeling as able to communicate what you're feeling because you might be in fear, or you might be in worry, or you might be very angry and you're afraid of your anger or your emotions behind the communications. So I feel like this throat chakra is asking for our attention today. Let's look at the card behind that. So this is one of the elements of spirit, because it is the purple border. I'm still learning this deck, guys, so give me a minute here. But this is spiritual strength. So this is like the Nine of Wands. And to me, nines always represent sort of finding abundance in a specific element for ourselves. And so to me, when I look at through meditation, this man is creating spiritual strength so that he can hold up the world. Yesterday we had that stay strong, what was it, stand your ground, where it felt like a man was facing off at the planet. And this morning when I watched it with my forecast people that attend every morning to watch the forecast with me, it had a different meaning to me, because I sort of felt like, I think that there might be some of us that are feeling the pressure of everything that's going on in the world, myself included. I don't know if I have any fellow empaths out there, but sort of everything that's going on and the implications can be quite overwhelming. And so, my throat chakra is tightening up right now as we speak. This spiritual strength card, though, I want to say, is that it's giving us hope. And what's interesting to me is that we have this blue of the throat chakra here, and then we have this blue in his third eye, right? This calmness, this centeredness. Through meditation and through going inward and being introspective during this time, he's actually building this sort of green strength, or this green spiritual being that's holding up his world. That's keeping him safe as he walks through this time of unknown. There's a light behind him that's beaming out. Do you see that light, guys? I believe that this throat chakra for us is about communication within ourselves. Communication to ourselves from a deeper level, maybe from our spirit. And allowing that to shine through and connecting to that during this time of struggle and worry and fear. And instead of attaching to that struggle and worry and fear, trying to center ourselves and get into that spiritual connection with ourselves where we can find that abundance, we can find that strength to carry ourselves through this time. Again, this has a very similar feeling to that Stand That Ground card, where it feels like we are being asked and required to draw upon parts of ourselves that we haven't otherwise necessarily accessed or needed, right? Due to life being maybe a little bit, not necessarily easy, but never having experienced these sort of situations, right? The social distancing, the idea of a pandemic. These are big, heady, new experiences for the entire globe as a populace. And so there's some of us that might be, for me, I'm using this myself as an example, but if some of you are like me, where you're like, I'm feeling a little bit overly compassionate, as if there is such a thing right now, my compassion is kind of really being pushed to the limits, because I have to stop almost thinking about everything that's going on so that I can keep centered on my goal, which is that hopefully everything is going to be okay in the end. And I think that that's more important. That's sort of what this spiritual strength to me is focused on through meditation, what he's focusing on. And maybe that's just my message for me. Maybe today's message is only for me, but that's the message that I see very clearly. Is that we need to go inward. We need to communicate with ourselves. We need to gain that spiritual strength so that we can hold ourselves up, and thus hold up our, the brotherhood of man, hold compassion and space for everything that's going on, for the full tilt boogie that this world is in right now, right? And that this ride is ultimately being guided. We have to believe that. I have to believe that, because if I don't, I'm going to lose my shit. So I choose to believe that, right? I choose and understand that there is a higher intelligence, that we're amidst all of this, whether you call it God, source, the angels, the universe, whatever you call it. I think now is the time to sort of communicate, not only with yourself, but with it also. And find that connection within yourself that creates that spiritual strength so that you can hold up during these trying times. so that you can be centered and at peace, even though the rest of the world feels like it's going bonkers. Now, this other card is from the Vibrational Energy deck by Debbie A. Anderson. Let's see what it has to say. Interesting. This is Forbidden Fruit. I've never seen this card before. So when I look at this card, this is interesting to me because it's sort of got a little bit of a Jesus tone to it with the Adam and Eve reference of the forbidden fruit. But when I look at this, it's sort of, to me, the red energy is in direct contrast to the green that we see in spiritual strength and the blue that we see in the throat chakra. To me, this feels like us possibly maybe needing to be aware of what we're focusing on. Are we focusing ourselves on the forbidden fruit? Are we looking at things like anger, anxiety, distrust, things that like, what are we feeding ourselves right now? Would be the question that I feel like is being posed in this card. Like keeping in mind that, you know, staying alert and staying aware is important during these times, but are we allowing that awareness to create within us this idea that we're worse off than we really are? I mean, I'm not saying that it's not bad. I'm not trying to say that this situation or the world isn't going through major changes right now. But are we focusing on the negativity of these changes, or are we focusing on the possibility of these changes? And when I look at her, she's sort of turned away from this spiritual strength, right? She's sort of turning away and looking at this little apple that could be this little red raging planet right now that we're all on. Everybody's sort of freaking out and fighting, and the planet's trying to heal. And sort of, are we focusing on that? Are we focusing on what's not working? Are we fearful of, you know, I mean, I certainly go in and out of it, guys. So I don't know if there's a majority of you that are experiencing the same thing. But to me, that's what it looks like this card is telling us, is kind of, don't focus on the forbidden fruit. The forbidden fruit is the fear, right? The forbidden fruit is the anger, is the distrust, is the anxiety that this stuff creates. Because all of that stuff is also, I'm just going to say it straight out, is going to lower your immune system anyways and make you feel worse and compound upon itself. So keeping that in mind as we move forward, we want to like not focus on this stuff and stay in this essence of spiritual strength. Now the grounding stone, oh wow, okay, I pulled today is faith. Yesterday was trust. The beginning of the week was health, right? Remember about our mental health, and it was also, that was the stone that we had for last week. So there's this focus and this underpinning energy of maintaining our mental, spiritual, and physical, emotional health during this week, right? I can certainly relate to that, like just with the tears and whatever else. But this yesterday was trust and today is faith, which they're sort of like brother and sister to me. Trust would be the boy, faith would be the girl. But to me, they are like hand in hand. Trust is generally something that we place, I believe, in something that, you know, is physical. Faith is something that we place in something that is maybe more spiritual, like ephemeral in nature. That might be our own souls this week. That might be our own spiritual strength this week, our own ability to communicate with ourselves and with others, right? But we have to make a choice. Are we going to be in spiritual strength, or are we going to like eat the forbidden fruit, in the sense of, are we going to latch onto the fear, latch onto the drama, latch onto the, like, I think that it's really important that we pay attention to what we're consuming right now and how we're consuming it. That is your forecast for the day, you guys. I hope that you understand it. I hope it makes sense. I hope it helps you today. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. And have a great day. I love you. Bye-bye.